go. That's right. That's right. For goodness sake. We're serious now. This is real serious. Welcome back to Late Night Playset. My name is Jay Ryan. I would like to take this opportunity to ask you to please like and subscribe this channel. I've never asked people to start doing that, but now we're doing that. So please do. Thanks so much. Mrs. Ryan's here. Mr. Magnus Walker's here. He's going to be the guest this evening. Hannah's here to support as well. They're together but not together, but together but not together. Of course, they're together, but they're not here officially together. She's just supporting Magnus. Magnus Walker is going to be in here in a few minutes. We are going to be talking about a lot of new projects he's got going on. Got very questionable GVBC tomorrow with the weather, Christmas Eve. Oh, hence the hat. Mrs. Ryan's here. She's not walking too well today, but her personality is absolutely shining. Wait till you see her. Late Night Playset starts in just a few minutes. Let's see who's here already. Babes and Classics, so happy to actually be here today. Hippie, yay. Hi, Danny. I'm going to kill this damn... That echo's awful. There we go. 562 VR4 joined. Thanks for being here, everybody. Troy's 5356 is here. All right, awesome. Late Night Playset starts right now. You trim your beard. You look great. And he did a shave. Everybody looks great. What's up, you guys? Kurt must be here.
Guys, there we go. Try ice and bubbles.
I just cleaned the machine.
Oh, look at that. Whoa, that's a party.
There we go.
That's more like it. Oh, wow,
right.
wow. Look at that. Bubbles inside.
Oh, we made it. We made it. Oh, bubble wrap, bubble tree, bubble everything. Good grief.
Everything for the holidays.
Oh, Hannah and Magnus are loving this in the other room. All right, let's see. Are we back here? All right. Hi, Mrs. Ryan. How are you? Good evening. Welcome back to the Late Night Playset. Don't mind the hat. It's not Christmas Eve. Shit, it's Christmas Eve. Is that right? The 23rd of December, 2021. It's Thursday, everybody. Our guest is Magnus Walker. Hannah's in the house as well to support. Boy, I'm looking at his shoes over there, and they really are broken in. I feel every time I think mine are broken in, I see him, and I go, oh, no, I got a ways to go. Plenty of ways to go. Magnus is here. We're going to be talking to him about all of the things and whatever you guys want to talk about. Get that man some bubbles. Okay, Magnus, calm down, sir. Hi, Mrs. Ryan. Oh, that's hilarious. You guys are awesome. Thanks for being here. Mrs. Ryan, how are you doing today? What's happening with you? Let's start there. The most important thing.
Today's one of the most terrifying days I've had. Thanks for asking.
I knew that. And okay, so tell everybody why. What's going on with you?
Things stopped working. There's a million reasons I hate that dumb question, how are you? But like, it changes so fast. Like, I could walk with the walker fine earlier, and now I can't.
Yeah, is that energy? What is it? Is it like the food you consume? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what can we figure out what the heck does what so we can start pulling the strings a little better?
A little bit. I made a huge faux pas with the medicine situation, and that's really messing with my head, which is messing up everything else. But like,
Too much, too little, too...
not the right combination.
Okay.
So that's on
And that screws up everything, your head, your body.
everything, and it's like I have to restart everything again.
I know your body's really bad today. I want you to know that you are being very clear. I feel like you're communicating hopefully what you want to. It seems like you're being very clear, even though you're saying, oh, it's not so good.
That's awesome. That helps me know which is which, because I thought I knew what was missing, but now I know for sure.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hang in there. Merry Christmas!
Do what you can,
One day at a time. We were just talking to Hannah about that before the show. Let's see, I don't remember the last time we saw her together. I've seen her a couple times, but maybe was it a Peterson event, something like that? You would have been in the wheelchair. And the irony is, even though, a wheelchair is kind of like not the most positive thing in the world, you generally have more energy when you're in the wheelchair because you're not having to support yourself. Gravity's a bitch to you.
It's getting worse.
So even though it's only 20, 30 feet from bedroom to studio, with the walker, that's enough to knock you out for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's bananas.
But that's strange for other people to understand. When we used to go to Pelican Parts and do 3 laps around that place,
Totally. It's a weird concept for anyone to understand. Like, I don't get it still.
So weird. Well, you're being a support system for people now, which is really, really great. But who is your support system? Obviously, there's a lot of people who care about you, but like none of us know more about MS than you do.
Other than you by default, probably no one. Like, it's really... Because people don't get it and they skitter. Because they can't fix it. I know a lot of fixers and people that pride themselves on fixing things, and no one can fix it.
All of your old everyone in your old job was a fixer.
Yeah. So everyone I knew, which was a lot of people, but like no one can fix this, and they don't want to look stupid by not being able to.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So
it's their own ego that makes them retreat.
So they just disappeared instead.
I always thought it was. You remember that movie, The Beach? Mm-hmm. You remember when the one guy gets like bitten by the shark or sick or whatever the fuck, but he's there's nothing they can do for him, and like eventually they just drag him out into the woods. I always thought like it was because of something like that, where people don't like to be around sick people. Some people don't like to go to hospitals. Some people don't like to go to nursing homes. Well, this is not either of those. Coming here is like going to a convalescent type place because of the apparatus that's around. There's wheelchairs and walkers around, and just the way we have to live our life. Is it maybe just uncomfortable for some people to be around?
That, and they can't fix it. Either way, like, neither does anything for me. So
right.
I'm not missing out.
Right.
I love a lot of people, but like, I don't need that energy.
Anybody who wants to be in your life can be.
Yeah.
Oh, you're the best. Well, we need to figure out a support system for you. I mean, I know you've got what you've got, but I don't know. I wish, like Jamie Lynn was so awesome, and she was 3 blocks away, but she just moved to Texas.
Now she's
Jamie Lynn
in a
Siegler.
different state.
Yeah, and it was awesome for you to have like an MS person to even just be able to just text every once in a while, or just send a message just that you guys were always caring about each other. And that still occurs, by the way. I guess you could still do that, but like you can't just on a whim get together for coffee today.
Yeah, our lives are very different. She is a totally different situation in a different place.
We've talked about Selma Blair before, but like, I'm trying to think in the old days, I feel like we both used to know so many connections to her. But what about nowadays? Is that somebody that you have reached out to or would? I know you have some mutual friends, but
we have mutual friends, and one who's really close to her has kept me apprised of like how hard she's dealing with shit. So
okay.
I haven't reached out.
Oh, I see. Okay. Out of respect.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and she's so high profile. I'm sure she's getting that from everybody. But you know what I mean? Just other people. They don't have to be famous, but other people going through this. It's just,
In our
People-
circle, you're the only one.
People don't really talk about it. Like, they don't, because they can't fix it, and no one wants to be the poster child for a problem that can't be fixed. So
Oh yeah, that's a
here I
weird
am.
one because it's a declining type of.
And everyone's different, and like you get the questions of like, what do you need? And it's different every minute of every day. So I'm not lying, but people assume I am because of my old job and how flippant this comes across. Like,
Oh, in that, like, it. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, like the words are. You're talking it more serious than it actually. I feel like everybody can see you now. When it was the invisible disease, and you're like, oh, I have MS and things suck, but you still looked fine. I feel like that was maybe a thing, but now you're very obviously suffering from something. You're no longer. It's no longer invisible for you.
I'm obviously broken, but people go as far as like someone they knew broke a foot, and that was why they were under chair. So
Oh, I see.
the energy thing is still invisible. People don't get it.
You're a warrior. Hang in there. Keep doing what you're doing. That's what I'm saying to Hannah, one day at a time, because there's really no other way to do it. You just got to handle it that way, because your shit changes moment to moment.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, I love you. We all love you. Everybody out here. I don't know if you saw any of the messages coming here, but they're all very, very kind and supporting and very nice. And hello, everybody. Hello. Let's wave the hell out of people. That's fucking crazy here. Pete, what's up? Grand Impression. Mark F. Medina. Bobby Bass. Hey, y'all. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Hank on Camera 4 is here. Hello, Hank on Camera 4. ND98. Raiden Motors. Some guy. 911 Anchorman. Paul Rivera. What's up, Paul Rivera? Will we be seeing you tomorrow is the question. Oh, boy. We should talk about that. Maybe we'll talk about it when Magnus gets in here. We were having the conversation about snow and the crest, and I feel like it's been mild this year. But am I wrong about that? In the previous years, Black Friday, remember, it was like there was 3 feet of snow on the ground.
It's been mild, but I looked at the weather again like it's recurring this year.
All right.
Looks cold.
All right. Well, I don't think there's going to be any snow tomorrow. I don't know why I say that. I'll probably be wrong. I don't feel snow. I feel rain. I feel like we're going to be on the porch, out of the rain, but I don't think it'll be cold and snowy.
That's what I saw too.
All right, good. Awesome. The Great Hack, everybody. What's going on with the Great Hack? Well, nothing new. Nothing new. Let's see. Magnus put us in touch with Damon. Damon's put in touch with Dimitri. Dimitri got his guy over at Meta, whatever it's called now, to work some magic. And the truth is, they all did work some magic. Unfortunately, I'm the asshole here in that because of the haste of the whole situation and the, oh no, when he asked for a new recovery email, I gave him one, and I transposed one of the letters of my own email address that I've had for 20 years. So I still don't have access. So somebody else offered to send another thing and another request, and they're trying to get it. And I don't know. We'll see what happens. I feel definitely equal parts to blame at this point. That is for sure. I am confident we'll get it back. I don't know when. It could be tonight. It could be tonight. It could be tomorrow. Tomorrow would be what, 2 weeks? 2 weeks without it?
Yes.
Thanks for everybody following the other one in the meantime. It's been a lot of fun until I got blocked on that one. If you noticed I've disappeared, it's because I can no longer like or comment or follow people or post anything. The only thing I have access to currently is my stories, and I can story like crazy.
So crazy.
So if you're looking for anything from me as far as what's going on with GVBC or the show or anything else, it's becoming increasingly more difficult to find. The real J Ryan 111 for now. I just can't post anything there. Yeah, that's what's going on. All right, viewer mail, real quick. Got a very nice. Oh, jeez, I'm rolling over the bubble wrap. Oh, good grief! Don't mind me. It's bubble wrap from the Bubbles, and it's hilarious because this thing came. This isn't even what I meant to do. But this has a refill station built in. And I guess I didn't do this right. I should have just filled it in. What I did was I emptied out all those canisters and did them one by one.
Probably not.
The pressure was on.
It was meant to be done.
The pressure was on. Let's see. Here was a lovely gift that somebody gave me the other day. And, I mean, people give you stuff all the time. But I'm so grateful every time. So I just want to say thanks. Thanks to Frank, who gave me a yellow 911. I don't even know what this is. It's not a Hot Wheels. It's cooler than that. It's got parts on it. Like, it's got a ski rack and stuff. Majorette. Major red, like the drum major.
Like a drum.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Either way, I think it's super cool. I'm grateful for it. It will find its way somewhere in the studio over here, probably there's a bunch of Magnus Hot Wheels over there and over there. We'll find a place for it. In the meantime, it'll go out here in the window. It's up there. Oh, jeez. There we go. Mrs. Ryan, we got to do commercials and get our guest in here. Is that about it? I think so.
I think so.
Viewer mail, do that. Hack update. GVBC, I don't think there's going to be snow. I don't think so. I don't know why I say that. They say all that separates men and boys is the coverage for their toys. St. Clair Insurance shops the top providers so you get the best coverage for your toys. What kind of toys are we talking about, Mrs. Ryan?
Collector cars.
Collector cars, sure, but what else?
The companies and everything that need to be insured to keep them moving.
It's exactly right. That's right. You got your collector cars, you got your collector car garages, you've got your homes, you've got your businesses that support all of those collections. All of those things are insurable. So if I were you, I'd go to Jeff Sinclair at coverageforyourtoys.com, coverageforyourtoys.com.
coverageforyourtoys.com.
Tell him you saw it here. Say hi over to Jeff Sinclair at St. Clair Insurance. This is Jay Ryan on behalf of Nicole Ryan from Late Night Playset, reminding you to please like, subscribe, and comment below. It feeds the internet algorithm and eventually us as well. That's Nicole saying that. I'm doing it because my mouth works better, but this is for her. You know you're doing awesome, right? Do you always know that in the back of your head?
Nope.
What do you think you're failing every day?
Certainly
You're like, oh, geez, I blew another one.
Today for sure. I'm so close.
Nah, you're killing it. You're killing it. Everybody's grateful. In the meantime, the best bubbles in the world, if you saw before, coming from the machine. The best bubbles in the world are made by Bubble Tree, the American bubble company. You're all right, right? Talking to you.
I'm nodding.
They can't see that on the podcast. She's
a minute.
crying.
I
She's
need a
crying,
minute.
but it's okay. This is how we deal with things. We laugh and we cry. You want some hot sauce? All right, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to get our guest Magnus in here. It's time for you to listen to these brief words from our friends at Oh So Delicious Hot Sauce. The hot sauce, Nicole.
Made by bears.
Made by bears.
Oh, so delicious. It's the hot sauce made by bears. Garlic and serrano mixed with love and care. You can put it on your eggs, pour it on your rice. It's great on a leg, it's better on a slice. It's oh, so delicious. It's the hot sauce made by bears. Oh, so delicious hot sauce. Great on everything except oatmeal.
Get your bottle today at ohsodelicious.org. $1 from every bottle sold
Good to
goes
see
to
you.
the
Yeah,
National
to see you
Military
too.
Family Association.
Homie, send
I'm Johnny Lieberman, and you're watching LNP. What does LNP stand for?
Late Night
Oh,
Playset.
yeah, that's right. I've been on there. Yeah, it's a good show. You should like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
What are you driving today? 63 356B. Hey, 111. What are you driving today?
Here we go.
Oh, this is fun, David.
Thumbs up for sure. This just proves that you don't have to go fast to have fun.
You don't have to go fast. Can you see my smile already?
Okay, I'm impressed.
Don't need to stick it. He's already got it. My car's gonna feel slow as balls after this. I'll tell you that. Pedal down. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Oh, this is the good stuff. This is right. Now we are back, and now it is time for our friend who likes to do the walk-in. Everybody, please do me a favor and welcome Mr. Magnus Walker. Hello, the urban outlaw himself is here.
Hello. Nice to meet you. Good to see you.
Lovely.
I feel like we just did that.
Oh, what's up, brother? It's
How you
great to
doing?
see you. Great to see you.
Merry
Great
Christmas.
to see you.
You brought a whole thing. I guess we'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah, we can get to that in a little bit. You know what? I'll start with one right here. There you go. This one's
Pull
going to
this
be
up.
awkward to open and awkward to pull it out. I got to watch my coffee cup. Don't knock anything over there.
If you're as good to here, let me kill this echo here. If you're as good to me as I think you are, I might know what this is already.
Well,
but
come
I
on,
just
you
I
don't know
can't-
what it is.
I can't believe it.
You don't know what it is.
Oh man, it is awkward to open, but we're gonna need the wide shot for
That's
this one.
right,
We're gonna need
wide
the
angle.
wide shot for this one.
You got to twist it and pull these
Twist
things.
it and pull.
And watch the coffee cup. There you go. Cue the drum roll. Drum roll, drum roll.
I know
drum
what
roll.
this is. Does anybody else know what
You
this
need a
is?
hand with
This
that?
is a very, very generous gift.
I like that technique. It's like a reverse screw, like an Archimedes drill or something.
I don't want to damage the
Oh.
art. All right, here we go.
Willow's probably already stepped on it. She loves stepping on posters.
Here we go. Here we go.
You had it the right way. Other way.
Did I? Oh, damn
You
it.
can do it upside down
Gee
for
whiz.
your Australian viewers. There it is.
There we go.
Uh,
How cool is this? Have you seen this online? You saw I
Yeah.
posted this as well, saying,
That's
"Who else
the-
wants this? I
That's
sure do."
right. There you go.
Oh,
it's
this
the
is
LA
amazing.
River, yeah.
That's 277 in the LA River. That's a fun collab I'm doing with Geordie boy Felix Holst.
Felix.
Felix, yeah, former Hot Wheels guy.
Amazing. Oh, I love it. I mean, I
so
love the
cool.
artwork, but it was the size, everything about it. I already have a place for it. I already know what I'm going to do.
Well, happy Christmas.
When I saw it and I saw the measurements, I go, that's what we need. We need that.
That's going to fit pretty good, yeah.
It's going to go great
So
with
this
all
is
our
a
stuff.
print, you know, one of them fancy,
This is
you know,
beautiful.
they call them museum quality print on museum quality paper. Don't call it a poster. It's a print from the painting.
Wow. So is that actually you driving in there? With is that you have a
that's
mask
actually
on?
me- That's actually me driving. When you're in the LA River, you don't need a mask.
Okay.
If you're brave enough to go down the LA River, you don't need a mask.
Oh, that's amazing.
But
This is
was
incredible.
a cool collab that I did with Felix. You know, he's been doing a bunch of these and selling them on Bring a Trailer. And
There's just so much of you in here in his artwork around the
yeah.
photography.
You know, it's kind of like very mod rock and roll. You know, it's like The Who and The Jam and the LA River and every sort of movie poster. And, you know, that's sort of an iconic location there. You know, it's been in Greece and Batman and Terminator and Gone in 60 Seconds and numerous other sort of, you know, chase scenes down in the LA River. So for me,
It's amazing.
it's always fun to get down there. And doing a collab with Felix was great because it was like a mashup of,
Is
know,
this your
his sort
first
of
one with
street
him?
art, graffiti style. Well, it's the first collab in the sense of a painting and a print, but we collaborated on the 914 art car that I bought from Felix back in like October of 2019.
I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that was a collaboration because
Yeah,
I see
I
so
bought
much of
his
that car in here.
914. I wasn't looking for a 914. I bought the 914 from Felix, a silver one, pretty much because it had an arrow on the door, and I'd wanted to do an art car, and I bought that with this idea of doing a sort of my version of an art car, which was all the things that I'm inspired by. And ironically, I ended up displaying it at the SEMA show with Mobile One. But to back up, I was doing something with Hot Wheels. Mobile One said, "Hey, do you want to display a car at SEMA?" I said, "Hey, you know, it's only 2 weeks away, but I just bought this 914."
It's not enough time to build a car, but I have
Yeah,
something cool.
But I've got this mock-up because I don't do Photoshop or anything like that. So I'd literally taken a photo, got out some Sharpies, put some Post-its on the roof of the 914, did a black and white printout, and then colored it in with Sharpies. And then I got out paper tape and vinyl tape and taped up the car. And then invited Felix over to help me do it, and we banged it out together. Rattle canned it
That's
in
so
3
cool.
days.
Well,
with
perhaps
literally
that's why I
like
like it
500
so
bucks worth
much.
of materials, and then took it to the SEMA show in, I guess, 2019.
To Nicole and Jay, keep on rocking. Cheers. Awesome. Magnus Walker, 12/23/21.
There it is.
Grateful.
So yeah,
Thank
those
you.
just came out earlier on this week. So sort of
Have
collaborating
they even
with-
shipped yet? Do I have the first one in hand?
Well, Felix is shipping them. You got the first one that's been delivered. And
Oh, hand-delivered, that's
hand
right, yeah.
delivered. You got lucky because Willow has not stepped on that one. She loves to, you know. We drove over today in the van because it's raining and you got to move stuff around. So you know, normally Willow's bouncing around in the back of the van. She does like stepping on things, but she's not currently in the van. But the van is currently parked outside.
I didn't know you had that van until I visited at the new house.
I've had that van for over 20 years. You know, today we went to Home Depot in the van. We're always moving stuff around in the van. So I've got a funny Christmas tree story that just happened to me today.
Let's hear it. Christmas trees.
Maybe we should swap hats. You want to swap hats?
Sure.
It's kind of a crazy hat there. I want to put on the Santa
Sure.
hat.
There we go.
Toasty.
Yeah, that's very me.
How's that look?
I look like a pilgrim.
That was pretty good.
I look like a
You
pilgrim.
look pretty good in
That's
that.
right.
Kind of like a Wurzel Gummidge.
It's about a month late for me, I think.
Oh my
I think you
God.
need the rest of the hair to support this. I just look like...
It's pretty good for the
You
rain.
look like a witch.
I feel it.
Hocus pocus.
Well, you look delightful. You really look like Santa Claus.
Yeah, if I'd thought ahead, I would have worn one in, but this is working out pretty good. Ho, ho, ho.
So tell me about your Christmas
Well,
tree.
Hannah and I were supposed to be in England. We were supposed to have flown to England on Tuesday and got there Wednesday.
Steel City says hello. He said
Oh,
you were
there
supposed
you
to be
go.
at their Cars and Coffee.
We were supposed to be at the Cars and Coffee tomorrow. We literally on like Monday, I guess we decided due to everything that's going on that might not be the smartest move to make, taking trains and boats and planes and flying to
Yeah.
London and then taking a train to Sheffield.
You also don't want to get stuck there.
Yeah, don't want to get stuck there because I got some stuff I got to do first week of January. So, we planned it for a long time. We're supposed to be going to go see my mom. It's Christmas in Sheffield because nothing's more Christmassy than England. LA's not really Christmassy.
No, it's not.
No Christmas spirit anywhere. There's no lights around. So,
No, the weather and the people in England is nice.
yeah,
That's great.
it's like there's not much daylight. The sun's not shining, but everyone's super happy. The spirit is there. You got the Christmas carolers and the Salvation Army band, and everything's lit up, and it's super festive. And my mum's constantly making cups of tea. Drink like 18 cups of tea a day there. The kettle's never not boiling.
Oh, that's interesting.
So anyway, that was the plan for Christmas, which sort of changed very last minute, literally like 24 hours before we were supposed to go. So now it was Christmas in LA. So what are we going to do? Today we're like, well, let's go get a Christmas tree. So, it's raining out there, right? So
Is this for the house now?
no, we're still
For the-
downtown.
still
We
for
haven't
downtown,
moved
okay.
into the house around the corner.
Okay.
That's a whole nother
Okay, all right, we'll get there. We'll get
We're
there.
going to stop by the house on the way home to see if the mud slide is sliding down the
For
hill
sure.
above us.
I'm going to know what you're dealing
Because
with.
it did that last week, which was quite a surprise. But we'll tell that story another time. So anyway, Christmas tree. We go, okay, there's a Home Depot downtown, Cypress Park. We'll go to Home Depot, get a tree in the van, take Willow. So we get to Home Depot, it's raining. The Christmas tree lot at Home Depot closed. No one's out there in the rain. So we go, okay, we'll go inside. We go inside, and everything's on sale 50% off for Christmas. We go, all right, maybe this is not a bad idea, but we're thinking if we can't get a real tree with the smell, we want a very artificial, very Hollywood, very LA, glittery, silver, gold, or
Totally.
purple glitter tree,
Bougie.
right? White, silver, gold, which I've seen at Home Depot.
For sure.
A month ago when we were going to England, we weren't interested. So now that we're like, let's get some Christmas spirit last minute, they have two trees there. One's a 7.5 foot one, one's a 9 foot one. But the green in them just look like a Doug fir. We're like, well, is this all you got? They go, yeah, but they're 50% off. We go, well, where are the glitter ones we saw before? Sold out. So we're like, what are we going to do? Are we going to get the artificial tree that looks like a real tree? No. If you're going to go
don't go
artificial,
that. I don't
you
do
want it
that.
to be glittery, right?
Yeah.
So we're like, well, I guess we can drive around in the rain. It's LA, it's fun driving around in the rain. 'Cause, it's like all of a sudden everyone's panicking. So of course you get out the phone.
That's good people watching.
Google Christmas tree, right? So we find a Christmas tree outlet in Lincoln Heights, not too far from Cypress Park Home
Sure.
Depot. So we go, we get there. In reality, it's not Lincoln Heights. It's right on the border of Boyle Heights, the train track, and the 5 East LA interchange.
Closer to the jail than Chinatown.
Very close to the jail, yeah. Right where all those automotive parts places are,
Yep.
the windshields and
Yep.
the replacement this, that, and the other.
Only pieces.
Yeah, that's right. So we're Googling. I go, this doesn't seem right. It's off a mission. We go around the corner down a dead-end street, and we literally, come to a dead end, 100 yards from the train track. We go, this is just not right. But we turn and look. There's 3 Christmas trees dumped at the end of the road there. So we look at them, and one of them has a stand. So we pull up to the van, we get out, we look at it, we stand it up. It stands up pretty nice. It's a little beat up, but it's like the Charlie Brown. It's better than the Charlie Brown tree. It's still bushy, and we have to think for a minute. It's a bird in the hand. We could drive around all day looking for one. So,
But this is free. It's not even at a stand. This is
it's free.
disposed of.
It's been
Yeah,
dumped.
yep.
It's the day before Christmas Eve. It's dumped next to the East LA interchange.
You're cleaning up the streets by taking this.
So of course we threw it in the back of the van, took it home, and now it's It's in the
Wow.
house. It's in the loft. So
But it's
there's-
just a
there's my
green
Christmas
tree. It's not a glitter tree. It's just a regular
it's a
green
real
natural
live
tree.
in a stand with a dish. I don't think it's a Doug fir. It's the other type.
Who
What's
does
the other
that? Where
type
do you
that's
get
not
with
the
the
Doug fir?
stand?
Came with the stand as well.
I know, but that's ridiculous.
So, I guess it was a sign that this was the tree that we were meant to take.
Wow.
So there's our Christmas tree story.
And then, are you going to do the whole thing, the lights and decor, or just lights? Or
Oh, no, the whole
you do
thing,
the whole thing?
So, of course, every year you try and organize them right and roll them up neatly. But, of course, I only
There's
found
a lot of
half
haste.
of them. Yeah, the tree's soaking.
I'll get new lights next year.
Yeah, got to do new lights. We ran out of tinsel, so we're going to do that when we get home when the tree's sort of dried off a bit.
Very cool.
Well, that's my Eve before Christmas Eve Christmas tree story. Right here.
Is there a tradition? Well, you're doing this because you were going to travel and you didn't travel. Is there a right time to put up your Christmas tree? I know families argue about
I
this.
think the right time is the day after Thanksgiving,
That's
and
what
you take it down before Easter.
Before Easter, okay, fine,
The longer you
fine.
keep it up, the
Before
better
God
it is.
comes back around, is that the idea? I see.
Yeah, one of the funniest Christmas tree stories was like a couple of years ago in New York. Hannah's on this 5th floor walk up in the East Village on 12th Ave, and lugging up those 5 stories kind of steep with a 6-foot Christmas tree. But all of those tenement buildings, as you know, they have a fire escape balcony, right?
Sure.
So of course, all you do is
Hoist
shim
it
it
up.
through the window, dump it over the edge.
Oh, to get rid of it.
To get rid of it. That's what we did. Just make sure no one's below.
Oh yeah, coming up is not too bad, but going down all the needles and
The
everything
needles,
else,
and
it's
then you
just
got to
falling
sweep.
apart.
Yeah, you got to sweep 5 flights of stairs because you don't want to be that guy that left all the needles there.
No, good point.
So yeah. So anyway,
Did
that's
you
just
ever
it.
do this previously to him? Was that your plan? You always did that? Oh, okay. I thought maybe that was your influence.
No, she's always outlawing.
He's good. Just throw it out the window.
Yeah. Hannah doesn't need me to go outlawing. Come on, she can do outlawing. What else?
Outlawing. New book?
Oh, you're a mind reader because
you sent me a picture, and I had to do my own sleuthing in the picture because it was just pallets and pallets of cases and cases of what I can assume was this.
Yeah, you don't print one book.
Yeah, but they don't. Most people don't have them show up at their home either.
Well, I didn't show up at the warehouse.
Right.
There was like, what was it, 11 pallets, 386 boxes, 5,086 books, weighing almost 10,000 pounds.
Holy crap. Was that one truck? One truck.
One truck. It came like way too late for Christmas. It was supposed to have been here earlier, but, due to everything that's going on down in the ports of Long Beach.
If it came before Christmas, all your friends would have expected this for Christmas.
Yeah, exactly.
So that worked out better. I mistakenly thought because of the pallets, I misread the thing, and I go, oh, Urban Outlaw. I thought he was doing a different name. No, it's called Dirt Don't Slow You Down.
Yeah, but if you look closely on those pallets, I finally got the U.S. rights to my own book. So this is the 3rd edition. Initially, the book came out in 2017. Then it came out in 2018 in German, and just this year, like a month ago, it came out in Japanese. But I finally got I never had a U.S. book deal. So
Holy crap.
You could buy it on Amazon anywhere, but it wasn't distributed in the USA.
No kidding.
So I finally got the rights to my own book, which is now published by Urban Outlaw.
So you were able to self-publish this because you got your own rights
Yeah.
back? Oh,
from
congratulations.
Penguin Random
It's
House.
wonderful.
So it's a follow-up to the original book from 2017. There's 4 new chapters, 286 pages, and 32 pages of photos.
Oh,
and
man.
there's a Hannah Elliott chapter. And as you see, Willow made it onto the front cover.
This is fantastic. Congratulations. It's a big deal when you get your shit back as an artist.
You're going to find that out real soon, I think. You're going to find that out real soon.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
More about control.
So let's see. Then they don't go to Amazon to buy it. Where do they go to buy it?
Well, because it only just came in literally 2 days ago, I'm going to have to, build a
So
website.
this is coming soon.
Coming soon unless you go down to the Peterson retail store, because I did drop off a few down there.
I see.
And you can go buy it at the Peterson. But yeah, coming soon 2022 when I figured out how to build a website and how to market it and put it out there. Yeah, it's currently not on Amazon, but it is at the Peterson Museum retail store.
Did you have to do anything with? Did you have anything to do with the old packaging of the old book?
Yeah. So I teamed up with what's called a ghostwriter. And basically, he came out in 2016. We hung out for a week. I told him my story, and then he kind of put it in a book and, made it legible and readable because I don't really read too well. So, but to answer your question, yes, So,
well, I'm just asking about this. This branding and packaging. This, if I were to see this on the shelf, knowing you as a man, this matches you. I thought I think, better than the original, but it could just be evolution. Maybe the other one matched you 5 years ago or whatever.
Possibly, you know. I mean, there's more gray hair, there's less hair these days. I am proud of the
tonally. I mean tonally. This feels like you.
I mean,
there's tattered edges here, and the imagery. There's
check out the inside
flares
of
on
the
the
Union
lights.
Jack.
There's things that you do in your own photography
Yeah.
and in your own art.
Well, take a look inside at the book cover. It's well laid out. You know, it's got the faded distressed Union Jack, which ironically is pretty similar to the print that I just dropped off.
Very much so. Thank
So
you.
it picks
To
up
Nicole and
from
Jay, keep on keeping the pedal to the metal. Cheers. All the
There
best.
you go.
Awesome.
There it is.
So we get to keep this. So that's it. So
Yeah, that's
very
it.
Merry Christmas.
Stick it
I
on
wanted
eBay
you,
later
Why
on.
you wanted to come in 2021?
Sell it to someone called Nicole and Jay on eBay.
Oh, it's amazing. I'm so happy for you. Getting your own shit back. Sometimes it's not even about the money. It's just about controlling your own art.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm super excited
hard.
about being able to do that. It's kind of like this thing I'm doing with Haggerty, the big thing. We can talk about that a little bit. Because as you know, we did lay down some voiceover here.
I'm
not
looking
too
forward to
long
doing the
ago.
next ones. Yeah, you want to talk about it? It's the next season of your show, but it's also not. It's also a new show at the same time.
Yes,
sort
a
of
new
an evolution.
variation of the next big thing. You know, it's now called the big thing. I guess the people at Haggerty that look at stats realized possibly, you know, as great as Paul Kramer's Isuzu Impulse is, it might not be the most desirable car to watch a video about. So, you know,
Especially on the Haggerty channel.
so it was suggested, hey, you know, maybe we can tweak the show a little bit. So season 3, I'm actually producing it myself, which I'm super excited about. Back to controlling your own shit.
Yeah, I'm
and your
really
own
digging
art.
this.
So a bit more pressure because, of course, you know, if it doesn't look good, I can't blame anyone. I'm the guy to blame.
Also, in my opinion, I think for you it's going to take the pressure off because you have a lot of that control back to make it better.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't have the control to make it what you would have made it.
Right, exactly. So we're halfway through shooting it.
How many episodes?
7 episodes.
Great.
To begin with, and we'll see if the audience clicks with it. So the big thing, really, it's about these are the poster cars on your wall, but let's find out what makes them special, what makes them iconic, and what do they like to drive.
Mm-hmm.
So the 7 cars we're doing is we shot the Mercedes-Benz W194, the 7-year-old race car that raced at Le Mans and Mille called the
Gullwing.
Floria, the forerunner to the Gullwing, you know, the iconic 300 SL Gullwing.
This was the first one that created the Gullwing, right?
Yeah. So this was a race car that came out in '52 and then convinced Max Hoffman, who then convinced Mercedes to build this into a street car. Crazy. And the rest is sort of history. The iconic Gullwing was born on the back end of the W194 race car, which was extremely successful in 1952. And then that went on to sort of inspire the Mille car of 1955, that's the Sterling Moss, set the record of 10 hours, 42 minutes, and 7 seconds, doing the 1,000 kilometers on the Mille.
Amazing.
So anyway, that's season 1 opener, and then the cool
So that
car-
gets everyone's attention.
Yeah, that gets attention. So the 6 other cars we're shooting, we just shot the Maserati MC12, which is, you know, a real sort of unicorn. They only made 50 of them.
Was
Based on
yours
the
white
Ferrari
with,
Enzo.
white with blue, or was it the black one? There was
They're
a
all
couple
white with
around.
Blue. The only black one is the one at the Peterson Museum.
Right.
It's the Michael Schumacher car. I
Right.
think there were a couple that were not the iconic white with blue livery. The Schumacher one, there's one in England that's blue. And I think there's literally a handful that are not white.
Okay.
So anyway, we shot that car out at the Salton Sea, which looks great, and then ended that day at Thermal on the racetracks, you know, because it is a streetable race car. So that's definitely a big thing in the sense of the car's long, it's 6.5 feet wide, it's awkward to turn it around on those little desert roads.
Had you driven that one before? One of those before?
No, I'd never driven one before.
What about an Enzo?
I haven't driven an Enzo either. I've
shit, I was
driven
gonna ask if they were
quite a lot
similar.
of Ferraris. I haven't driven an Enzo, but
Well, you know how they compare the two. They came out at roughly the same time, and they were similar. A lot of
the
counterparts.
Maserati MC12 essentially is built on the platform of the Enzo.
Right.
Same motor and drivetrain. The MC12 is slightly down on power, but only because Ferrari didn't want the Maserati to have more power. But the MC12 actually raced and was very successful, whereas the Enzo didn't race. And, you know, they only made 50 MC12s. Wow. But talking of Ferrari, what I drove last Friday was the Ferrari F40, which out of the Ferrari 5, that out of all of the top cars I've ever driven, the F40 is in my top 5. I once had a very fun ride down in Miami in one back in, 2016, and literally last Friday, I got to drive one in and around Beverly Hills. That was how I ended up at Cantor's on Fairfax at like 1 a.m, which I found out the kitchen at Cantor's closes between like 12:30 and 1. So
I didn't know that.
it does now. It opens back up at 1, but if you want to go to Cantor's between 12:30, you're going to be waiting in your F40 outside for half an hour.
I feel like if I was ever at Cantor's in the late hours, it would have been after 2.
Yeah. It's kind of like the in between. It's probably like that hour between, lunch and dinner when the kitchen's closed between 4 and 5.
Yeah.
But at Cantor's, it's like 12:30 to 1.
They have to scrub the countertops at some point.
Yeah, exactly. Do the turn.
Oh God.
So yeah, F40 was in and around Beverly Hills.
Did you park it out back?
No,
you
I
park it on the
right
street?
on Fairfax, like
Under the marquee?
Well, I parked on the other side in front of the bus stop because there was no room under the marquee.
Okay.
But in reality, the better shot was from the east side of the street, looking at the marquee across the road.
Wow.
But Fairfax is still bopping on a Friday night, around 1:30. So anyway, that was car number 3, the F40.
Frickin' just tooling around LA in an F40.
Yeah, and then
That's a bucket list car for sure. I've never even ridden in one, I don't think.
Well,
I rode in an F50 once.
Here's the crazy thing about it. Like, it's literally not much different, in a sense, to a 308 GTB on steroids below 2,000 RPM. Everything above 3,000 RPM, it gets really, really fun and fast. But just going around, we drove down Rodeo Drive at 10 miles an hour, and I swear to God, I finally bought a 308 GT4 Dino, and it's no different to driving that at like 10, 15 miles an hour. And by that, I mean like the day before I drove the MC12, which is kind of intimidating because the visibility's not great.
It's
pretty
long,
loud.
too, yeah.
It's
Got those
super
overhangs.
long. The F40 is none of that. You get in it, you feel comfortable. It starts right up. It's easy to maneuver even at slow speed.
There's nothing to it in there, too. There's nothing on the dash.
There's nothing to distract you. Everything you need is there. So it's this visceral ride when you're on boost, but when you're off boost, there's really nothing to it, which makes it great because you could daily, I think, an F40. So anyway, that was the F40. Then I'm driving the Koenigsegg Agera RS, daily an F40. But the actual car that did 277 miles an hour and set the record until the Veyron beat it. And then I'm doing...
The one you drove did that?
The one I'm going to be driving.
No kidding.
So I split production up into 2, like 3 episodes and 4 episodes to sort of break it up so you're not doing them all in one go. Okay. So the final 4 will be the Agera RS. I'm doing a Series 1 E-Type Jag because that's an icon. I'm doing my 76 930 Turbo because to me that's an icon. And then I'm ending it with, I'm super pumped about how I'm going to end it. I'm ending it with all 3 generations of Ford GT from the original GT40 that's at the Peterson, which is only one of 3 made that are streetable left-hand drive cars.
I love that with all the chrome and everything. It's gorgeous.
So I'm going to have 3 of them all together, Series 1, Series 2, Series 3, on the big track at Willow Springs.
Whoa.
Same day, same place, same time. So anyway, that's it.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, Season 1 or 3, depending on how you look at it. Premiering sometime in January on the Haggerty channel.
In my mind, this is more of a parlay. It's not even. It's like a different. I used to work on the TV show The Practice. That show became Boston Legal, but it became Boston Legal because of the final season of The Practice, where they fired all of the cast and they hired James Spader and William Shatner and all that, and they just sort of morphed this show over season 8 of The Practice, became season 1 of Boston Legal. I feel like this is the same thing. You're just sort of morphing what you used to do into something else that sounds bigger and better.
Well, all we really did was just up the next from the title. So
no, that's not true.
It's not the next
big
thing. It's the big thing with just, cars that might
These
have
are
been the poster
legendary
cars
stories. It's not like you said about, hey, here, look, I'm being funny when I choose the Impulse because I'm Magnus.
I wasn't being funny with the Impulse. Paul's a great guy. It's a good car, but, it might not have been the most exciting thing.
How was your day driving that car? Was that the most exhaustive of all of your next best things?
No. It was not exhausting. I mean, it was fun for what it was. I enjoyed it.
Oh, man.
I
get fatigued just looking at that car.
Really?
Yeah, I like it, but man, driving it is rough.
Well, some things are better to look at than they are drive.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Hopefully people click. I mean, the one thing about this show is all these cars have already been featured. So it's like everyone's kind of done a video on, maybe not all of these cars, but there's probably more F40 videos out there than there are Isuzu Impulse videos.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, what can I do different? What's my take on it?
But that's where it comes in. That's where
you
you're the
tune
personality.
In and figure out if that works out or not. Time will tell.
Do you have a release schedule yet? And it's still going to be Haggerty, right?
Still Haggerty. The first episode, I think, is January 17th, and then they're doing them bi-weekly. Soon. Yeah, soon. Well, the first one we've already done. we'll probably be coming by week after next to do VO on second and third episodes.
We're here ready. We got a brand new mixer. We've
Mixer.
we've
So
upgraded a few
mix-a-lot.
things even since you were here last
All right.
for that. So
well, it
you
did
should
sound
be just
good
fine.
in the in-house studio, so I appreciate that.
When are you going to build a space over at the house?
The house
it
or,
used to-
or the warehouse?
Well, either one really, but I think of the house because of its own history. The house has its own recording
Yeah.
and
The house does.
rock star history.
Yeah, I want to save that for another day. But yes, the house has got a lot shrouded in mystery and history. That is the house. There's a lot of rock and roll stories.
We'll keep it that way for now.
Behind the house. Yeah, it's like every house in Hollywood, right, that's in the hills is legendary because someone once lived there or partied there or,
It's like a car these days. Everything has a...
so-and-so farted in such and such a car or, went to a pool party at a house in the hill or, copped some drugs or recorded an album or whatever it is. So
Did you ever have that life out here when I was in my 20s and I first moved out here? That was the life. It was just like that freaking movie Swingers. Yeah, you go out to wherever with your friends, you meet up with some other people that you just met. And,
Party in
they're
the
going to
hills.
a party of the hill.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to the Dresden Room or whatever.
Right,
It was
the
just
Burgundy
like
Room.
that movie.
I mean,
so
Swingers
we used to
is
end up
such
at
a good
places
film.
that were like famous places, like the Frank
The
Lloyd Wright
Houdini
House and
Mansion.
stuff, the Houdini Mansion,
Everyone's part
the
of the
Rock and Roll
Houdini
House.
Mansion on Laurel
For
Canyon,
sure,
right?
I've been there.
Yeah, ours is like a lesser version of that with, similar sort of history. But yeah, Swingers is one of my favorite all-time films because maybe if you haven't lived in LA, you don't quite get
It
Swingers.
seems like a cartoon. It doesn't seem like it's really like that, but it
But
was
it is.
really like that.
I would have killed for that role. When the guy went out for the role of Mickey Mouse or whatever it was at Disneyland, and remember it's on the golf course?
Absolutely.
You're just like a bunny rabbit. There's so many great
He's
lines.
like,
in
yeah,
that
I'm
thing.
thinking about taking
You're
a part
money.
playing Goofy.
Yeah, exactly. I would have killed for that role. Yeah, and that's Skinny John Favreau. Skinny Vince Vaughn and Skinny John Favreau, right?
Big time, yeah.
So, yeah, big fan of Swingers. And remember the scene when House of Pain comes outside, the behind the dress.
I
and he
love
pulls
it.
the gun
Because
on
I
him
grew
or
up in
whatever.
LA, Anaheim.
Yeah, that's right. There's so many good LA sort of jokes in Swingers.
And I don't want to do 10 minutes on that movie, but the same thing was, if you ever went to the Dresden Room on a Monday night, it
Marty and Eileen were playing
was
there with
Marty
the
and
sequin
Elaine.
shirt.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
exactly like the movie.
Right.
And if you paid $10, you could play Staying Alive with them. It was
Right.
ridiculous.
They didn't cast those characters. Those characters were already there.
And so much of the movie was the same way. There was no budget to change anything.
Right.
It was all just really like that.
You got to don't go through the front door. You got to go around, go in the back alley through the
That
back
place
door.
was
right?
called The Room. We
Yeah,
used to
The
go there
Room
all the
on
time off of
Cahuenga.
Cahuenga
Yeah.
by the beauty bar in the old days.
Right, the beauty bar.
Big Wangs.
Yeah, I mean, the beauty
Those
bar
were-
was a
I told
fun
you, we would have
place.
had fun in the old days.
My friends were like co-partners in the beauty bar. They had like
Oh, me
18
too.
partners in the beauty bar. But, I guess it started out not New York. New York was the second one on 14th Street. There might have been one in Philly was the first one. Or
There
something
was
like that.
Beauty Bar, and then what was the place that was around the corner? There was the shoe store. It was like Fashion Shoes or All Star Shoes or something.
Here in
but-
LA? Or
Yeah, and it was right up from the around the corner from the Beauty Bar.
on Hollywood Boulevard?
Cahuenga
to
It's on
Hollywood?
Cahuenga, and if you walked up the block and took a right,
Yeah, it must
and
be
it was
Hollywood.
another
Oh,
same type of thing, and
yeah,
it was
yeah.
always
I
it
never
looked
really-
like a shoe store, but it was a club
Right.
that was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
always closed to everybody. You had to like
Right.
tip the guy to get in.
The 90s were
All-Star
great.
Shoes, I
The
think.
90s were great days in LA. Would go to the Whiskey and Viper Room. And
Oh yeah, the Key Club in the old days.
I'd go to the Key. Yeah, I even went when it was Gazzara's before it was a Key Club in the 80s.
Oh, before me.
Oh, that was full-on Sunset Strip heavy metal days.
So same thing, just a
Gazzara's.
rock club.
Yeah, but Gazzara's was more like kind of the stripper chick rock club. There was
Oh.
like the Whiskey, the Roxy, and Gazzara's. And, depending where you were on the scale of rising fame or declining
Oh,
fame
hilarious.
would sort of depend where you were at the Whiskey, the Roxy, or maybe you were playing Gazzara's.
So Gazzara's was on the way down.
Maybe
sorta.
it was bands that it was either the way down or the way up, but you hadn't made it to the next level
Okay.
of playing the Whiskey or the Roxy or even the Troubadour.
That's hilarious.
And then, Scream. I used to go to a club called Scream downtown. That was 80s, so I'm sure in my LA age, but this is what's great
When did you
about LA.
move here?
1986. I'm
Oh, it's
permanently
before, you were 10
1987.
years before I thought. For some reason, I thought it was like early 90s.
I was late 80s, so, to me it was literally Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue,
Holy shit.
Poison.
Happening live right here.
So the Sunset Strip, that section from the Whiskey all the way up to, Doheny in the 80s, 86, 87, it's pre-internet, bands are handing out flyers.
Mm-hmm.
Half of the scene was actually on the street, not in the club. Everyone was just kind of promoting and hooking up, and it was just kind of rowdy times. It was It was great.
Rainbow was still going. The Rainbow.
Yeah, Rainbow was going. That was a big hang. I was 19 when I first came and 20 when I moved permanently. So it really was, for
Holy
me,
shit.
a great period of time, which is why I love LA. It's got all those memories.
But if you were that age, living in this town, doing that stuff, then you totally had those swinger nights where you ended up at some pool party and nobody has a suit, so we're all going in. You know?
I think those things still happen, though. I'm at the point where I'm too old. I don't care. I'm falling asleep by 9. But, you hear these stories about people that went to a party and 3 days later they're still at the party in the hills type of thing.
Yeah, you're right.
So, I think people are still partying in the hills, in the TikTok house or whatever it is.
That's it. You're right.
Whatever it is, it's a different scene, but people are still partying.
It morphed into that whole underground party scene.
Maybe it's not quite as rock and roll, but, I think people are still having fun and doing whatever you do when you're up for 3 days at 48 hours in a house party in the hills somewhere. It's an LA moment.
I don't know what your house life is going to be. Like, are you guys is it going to be all quiet and domesticated? Or are you going to light it up again? Are you going to bring the neighborhood right back to what it used to be?
Hannah's the party animal. I'm the quiet one, and, Willow rules the roost, so... Time will tell.
Let's see. Willow for sure. You have a cat too?
Got a cat, Jet. Yeah, Jet's sort of,
Does Jet maintain the warehouse though? Does Jet live at the warehouse?
Jet's in the warehouse. Willow's in the loft. So unfortunately, Jet and Willow don't get along.
Oh, that's a bummer.
So Jet's got the whole warehouse to herself. Willow has us. So it's maybe it's not quite as great for Jet as it is for Willow, but that's just kind of how.
But Jet will probably stay there when you guys move to the house.
We haven't even thought that far forward.
Oh, okay.
If anyone needs a cat that doesn't want to relocate from downtown, let me know. We're not sure when we're relocating to the house, so we got some time to figure that out.
Oh,
there's no deadline, so which is good and bad. We don't have to be done by a certain time, but then that just means it's like a piece of string could go on forever type of thing.
Yeah, I know what that's like.
Now I'm thinking about Jet. Yeah, where's Jet going to go in this equation? I mean, we're not leaving the warehouse, or I'm not leaving the warehouse. So,
right.
She still has plenty of space to roam down there in the warehouse.
Oh, man. Well, your warehouse is becoming a studio space. It sounds like it's a loading dock for your books and your paintings and everything else.
Right now, it's a warehouse with a possible leaky roof. It's like there's always new roof leaks over at the warehouse. So, I'm the guy waking up at 4 a.m. thinking, fuck, is the roof leaking up the warehouse? Because it always leaks.
It's hilarious. We're just watching It's Always Sunny again. We watched it years ago, but haven't watched it in a long time. We're just watching it again. Good grief, is it so funny? But I'm always taken with, that's just right behind the thing. That's not your place, is it?
No, it's one block. I walk past that building every single day because I live opposite it, sort of, and where my warehouse is.
But it's
also very close to it.
And such a popular filming location. It's got the thing.
It's like number one film location down there. I've walked past a couple of times in the morning and seen DeVito like doing shots.
Oh, sure,
street,
yeah,
which is kind of cool. I always got to stop and.
We were watching, we started earlier, and the earlier seasons, you see across the street, and it was the UPS, the fulfillment place, and then the later seasons, it's all nice, and it's like an office park or whatever. Right. It totally
that's
rejuvenated.
Now Spotify. Yeah, it's Spotify and a fancy restaurant.
That's what it is now?
Yeah.
It's hilarious because it totally doesn't fit.
Right.
It's supposed to be a dive bar in the middle of nowhere. Yeah.
Not anymore. You got Spotify opposite the dive bar.
Hilarious.
Yeah. I've actually never watched an episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Really? I had a bunch of friends who worked there. We used to go visit in the old days.
Where did they shoot the rest of it? I know that's Paddy's bar, but I guess is the rest of it on stage?
Yeah, it's all everything.
Exterior. That's just the exterior,
including a picture of what used to be the UPS fulfillment place across the street is the outside.
Got it.
But yeah, it's all over at Fox.
Hey, it's a movie town, right? It's very Hollywood here. Very Hollywood.
I'm trying to think. Crazy Gideon's down there too. And then
Crazy Gideon, sort of. He's all over.
But he's got filming locations too, right? Like all of downtown is basically for rent now.
Yeah, I mean, Crazy Gideon's my neighbor. I've known him over 25 years.
That's awesome.
From before I bought the building, then he bought the building next to me like a year after.
Oh, seriously? You were there first?
I was there before he was.
But he wasn't doing his commercials and shit back then, was he?
Yeah,
he selling the... Come on down!
I am crazy, but not stupid. The price is so cheap, I'm giving it away. So yeah, I got sucked in and bought one of those stereos. And
I was going to ask.
And of course, it was obsolete. The speakers weren't quite compatible, or the remote didn't work. So, I had to take it back, and I bought it cash, and he wouldn't give me my cash back. I had to give me credit.
Oh,
so to
my
begin with,
God.
there was a little bit of this guy.
That's the move.
And then this guy became my neighbor, and now we're friends, and he's actually a really, really sweet guy. So, yeah, that's the crazy Gideon story.
Does he have a son too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I might have met the son.
Yeah.
Do they own? I think they own the Tradecraft building over there on Traction, right?
Well, they've been on Traction for a long time. That was his retail store opposite Groundworks, and then he.
Oh yeah, that's where the Groundworks, right?
Yeah,
That's right where it is.
That was his whole build. Still, it is his whole building there. Then he bought the building on the corner opposite the American Hotel. That's like 4 or 5 stories, which is another film location.
I just we used to have a friend. I think I told you that. I think the one time that doesn't matter, but the show New Girl. I never watched the show like you guys did, but I think their apartment was on the same thing. Everything's all just.
I didn't watch it either, but
New Girl? Me neither.
But
Someone must be watching it.
No, but
Not
I know a friend. I had a friend who worked on that show the entire run, and they apparently shot at your place a couple times, at least in the loft.
Probably. Maybe. I've been shooting there for 21 years now, and at our peak, we were doing well over 100 days a year.
Oh my God!
So you kind of forget what you've shot. We did a lot of reality shows, America's Next Top Model, and all the spun-off shows.
Ever do Fear Factor? They did a lot of stuff downtown.
We didn't do that. That was more sort of Alameda and 6.
Okay.
We did a cool boxing show, though, called The Contender, hosted by Sugar Ray Leonard and Stallone. So they were in the building.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So you never know who you're going to meet. I met a lot of people there on set. But like anything, if you've ever been around a movie set, it's hurry up and wait, and 9 times out of 10, you don't see anything.
Yeah.
But,
Except Danny DeVito out there waiting to go on.
We do see Danny. Yeah. He stands out in a crowd for sure.
Do they put a facade up, or is there a cover of that of the Patty's? They must just put a fake sign and a fake door.
Sign up, but they don't really dress it up too much.
Oh,
It's
okay.
kind of minimal, unless they're doing something in the street, like a street fair or something.
Right. That makes sense.
So they do that. But that's what's great about LA's the whole filming thing of something different every day. You never know what you're going to see.
There's different art popping up constantly too, which I love. Maybe even that. Even I consider a movie set art just because it wasn't there and they had to dress it and change it.
Yeah,
and make it.
Downtown now is super walkable. Lots of cool galleries, a lot of great street art out there, and it's just kind of an inspiring environment if you're into that sort of visual inspiration.
I'm happy to hear that because I was sort of afraid it might go the other way once more money started coming in and some of the brands and things started getting really, really nice, and
it's
sometimes
kind of one of these things like there's elements of how it was before that I prefer. All these trendy, fancy restaurants coming in. It's my new pet peeve because we're surrounded by them. So they don't really, in my mind, bring much to the neighborhood. They bring people into the neighborhood who then leave. But what I've noticed is, parking's now an issue. Valley Park guys are just pulling cars in right in the middle of the street. They don't care.
No.
They're almost running into you. Then they take street parking, which means people that don't have a parking spot now have to fight for a parking spot. And then what I've seen on the rise is break-ins in cars. Like people drive down, give the car to a Valley Parker. The Valley Park guy parks it on the street. They've left whatever, the laptop in it, cell phone. They come back, windows are broken out.
Oh, shit.
So I'm seeing a lot more of that burglary from motor vehicle, break-in of fancy cars parked on the street. Probably 9 out of 10 of them are people that are dining at fancy restaurants in the neighborhood
leave something in the
that
car.
assume their car's being parked in a safe environment in a secure car park. Because none of these places actually have security roaming the streets.
No. And I'm sure if you check that ticket,
Yeah,
no liability whatsoever.
Who reads the fine print when you're jumping out of your fancy Tesla
100%.
to go to the latest, greatest, hip restaurant? So,
man.
there is yin and yang. Like certain parts of it was like it was better before when there were less people, less TikTokers doing dance moves, taking selfies in the middle of the street on the cell phone. But on the other side, you're surrounded by great coffee shops, galleries, and it is more convenient for certain things. So
San Francisco is apparently getting hammered with break-ins right now.
Oh, really?
No matter. Yeah, apparently everywhere. I don't know what the hell. I guess
we're
it's
in
just.
strange times.
I think that's what it is, right?
Strange times indeed. So, Good Vibes Breakfast Club tomorrow. You going up in the rain? Rain means snow maybe up there? You're going to brave
I
it?
think it's going to be rainy. I think it's going to be wet. I don't think there's going to be snow. What do you think?
I don't think either. I think it's warmed up. I think it's pretty warm. It's not as cold. I think it'll just be nice and damp and gloomy and misty and rainy.
Yeah. With that, drive carefully. Obviously, drive carefully. That's always
Yeah.
a thing. Because I'm sure there'll be a lot of debris and stuff. But no, I'm not worried about snow.
All right. Well, I'll see you up there tomorrow.
When was the last time you went up in the snow? Like where you had an actual issue?
Well, I guess it was earlier on this year when I drove the 67 up, and we couldn't. Remember, we got to Newcombs and it was all super icy, and there was that emergency rescue crew up there, and it was probably February of March of this year.
Yeah,
that was probably the last time in the snow when we actually all parked. Like
we had to move down to Chileo.
Yeah, that was probably the last time. So I think that was March, February or March.
Wow. In my mind, that was a year ago, but shit, I think
it was
right.
February or March.
I think you're right.
Pretty well. I hadn't driven the short wheelbase 67 in a long time. I got in it and realized there's no heat in that car.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Sub-zero.
That's right.
It was pretty cold. So, yeah, that was the last time I was up the crest in snow, was in the 67.
You have windows in that one, though, right? At least the windows
There's
go up.
windows. There's probably no wipers, not that you need them. But no heat means no defrost.
Oh, interesting.
So, you know, it's constantly, it's cold, first of all.
So you almost have to keep the windows down.
Got to keep the windows down, which makes it even colder.
Shit.
And then you're giving it this one, you know, on the window. Because there's no defrost because you got no heat because you want to be racing. You know, you went straight pipe and headers and you took off your heat exchangers or whatever it is. So, because, you know, it never rains and snows in LA, right?
Yeah, right.
Right.
Except where we go,
right,
where there's full 4 seasons.
Right. Exactly.
What's the you've been out here since the 80s. You've been into cars the whole time. Could you estimate about how many miles you have on the crest? I mean, is there even a way to do that among all your cars? Just your miles on the crest?
I mean, I've been going up there. You're wearing the TLG shirt there. I remember going up there with Marco and the gang like 20 years ago, like 2001, 2. I don't know. I've gone up a lot of times, so.
Multiple times a week, sometimes multiple times a day in multiple cars.
Sometimes, you know. What I will say is whatever you go up the crest in, it's always fun. Whether you're in a minivan or you're a tourist visiting from Europe that has to go drive the convertible Mustang, or if they didn't get quite so lucky, the convertible Camaro, and they all head up the crest. But whatever you go in, it's fun at whatever pace you go up in.
I totally agree with that. There's something for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, I've been up there in a minivan. I've been up there in, you know, SUVs. And
have you really been up there in a minivan? Literally?
Yeah. Seriously, I've been up there in a minivan.
Why?
You know, sometimes
just to say you did it?
Sometimes you got 5 or 6 people. You got family visiting, you know, Christmas this, Thanksgiving that.
So you just went up to show them around?
I've had Christmas dinner at Newcomb's Ranch. I've had Thanksgiving Day dinner at Newcomb's Ranch.
That's true.
So if you've got your family out, which, you know, my family used to come out quite a bit.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
And I don't cook, so you combine your favorite things, like, you know, if it ain't fish and chips or Indian food, it's roast beef and Yorkshire pudding, Christmas dinner, Thanksgiving Day dinner. Newcomb's was awesome when it opened on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And it was, I've been up there with my mum for Thanksgiving in 2015. So they served Thanksgiving, and I believe I've been there for Christmas Day as well.
They did up until, I think, like 19.
Yeah, so there was nothing cooler than that. I mean, should we talk about Newcomb's? What's going on? Is it sold? Is someone buying it? Is that guy we know buying it? What is going on with Newcomb's?
Oh, what can we say? I mean,
I don't know. No one's paying any attention. You say whatever you want, right? I mean, come on. What do you know? What do you hear?
I mean, I know some stuff. We know some stuff, but we were asked not to say anything.
Oh, you were asked not to say anything?
Yeah.
I didn't
otherwise,
know that. No one asked me not to say anything.
No, that's right.
So we can talk about off record. So have you been asked to say whether it's sold or not sold?
It's sold.
It's in escrow.
I think it's sold. I don't even know if there'll be an escrow with the type of funding that would buy it. I don't know how that all works.
Just turned up with a bunch of cash in a bag, shoebox.
I think so. Here's the paperwork. Have a nice day.
Yeah. Well, that's great. You know,
and then the plans for it sound very good in that it'll be a great roadside place for automotive enthusiasts. It sounds like it will be, you know, everything it was plus a lot more.
Well, that'd be great.
It sounds like it'll be great. I don't know how quickly any of this will happen.
2023, 2024.
Who knows, right?
What year are we now? 2021, 22?
Almost 22, yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun on the crest.
I think it's going to be fun because I think it'll be more of a destination.
You can spend the night there or something?
I hope so. I'm hoping. That's what we always said that we would do if we, you know, got control of the place. You somehow open up a bed and breakfast of some sort, which I don't know how you don't do that. I don't know how you can have people
out there, not
dinner, wine list, stuff like that, and be like, all right, drive safe, have a good one.
Yeah, 26 miles down the hill.
Yeah.
Good luck.
You don't get a lot of repeat customers that way, you know?
No.
But all of a sudden, if we can eat and drink our faces off, stay the night, get a good drive on in the morning, ooh, that sounds great.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And we are kind of spoilt with that road and that environment and that facility.
Do you ever travel and then like forget what it's like in the rest of the world?
Yeah. You know, when we're in New York and people go, "Oh, Bear Mountain," you go, "Well, it takes an hour to get out of the city," and then you get to Bear Mountain at the 9W and
45-mile-an-hour speed limit.
yeah, you got to avoid all those cops that are hiding out there and unmarked cars on the side of the road.
The trees in the median.
Yeah, and you go, "It's actually not that great," or "It's not as great as what we have." Let's put it that way.
It's very pretty,
Yeah.
but you're not going to get the experience we have.
No.
I don't know anywhere else that you do. Montana, maybe go out to Big Sky or something.
Yeah, but you don't get the ocean, you know.
And you don't get the
You don't get the
twisties.
desert, you don't get the twisties. I mean, that whole SoCal, LA, ocean, desert, mountain thing is not a myth. It's reality, and, you know, we kind of experience it. You kind of take it for granted until you go somewhere and realize, okay, you might have one of those environments. Europe, you got the mountains, right, great. But you don't have the ocean and the desert within 100 miles of that combo.
Have you ever actually done, like they say, the ocean and the beach and the snow in the same
Yeah, I
day?
did it probably, I don't know, almost 10 years ago in 277. I did it from downtown. I did it sort of backwards, but
We did too. We did mountains and then the ocean.
I went backwards. I went from downtown to the ocean.
Oh.
So I remember I was left downtown at 6:30, Santa Monica Pier, like, I don't know, 6:45, 7 o'clock. I left Santa Monica Pier at 7. I made it to the tram in Palm Springs by 8:30.
Shit.
So that was going to be, Palm Springs was my desert portion. And I was in Palm Springs by 8:30 from Santa Monica at 7. So do the math, that's a long way and
That's
pretty
good.
quick.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And then so that was my desert portion. I stopped at the tram, took some photos, then I was heading to Lake Arrowhead, Big Bear actually.
Oh,
But the
that's
road-
nice. So you went out and came back
Yeah, but
in.
the road to Big Bear was close. So I ended up doing Lake Arrowhead, and I think I got there by 10:30-ish. And then snapped some photos, and I was back downtown in the loft by 12:30.
That's
I'd done like
unbelievable.
300 miles.
That's-
I'd done them all, ocean, desert, mountain. Obviously, I didn't ski or surf, but I hit those spots, took a photo, made a little story. So yeah, I've done it. It was
Yeah,
great.
that's awesome. No, that's straight up it.
That was what I did, yeah.
You threw an Arrowhead. I mean, we did. I think it was Malibu and the Crest at the same day.
No. I did it in the morning, and you can do it in the morning.
Well, that's a hell of a loop too. Now I'm thinking I want
Yeah,
to
it was
try
about
that
300 mile
sometime.
loop.
And you said 6:30 you left?
I left downtown at 6. I was in Santa Monica by, I don't know, 6:20,
Oh, that's right. Left by
6:30.
6. Okay.
I
Like 10
took
years
some
ago
photos.
too.
Yeah.
So we got to calculate that a little bit too.
Yeah, different times, different places. But yeah, all doable, definitely doable in a day, you know. So yeah, get out and do it.
You didn't travel, and everything's getting crazy. Do you think they're going to lock shit down again? Maybe the traffic will get better if they lock shit down again? I don't want that, but I'm just saying.
Time will tell. I mean, for the first couple of months, you know, back last, what was it, March, April of 2020, it was easy to get around. Real easy to get around.
This place turned into a small. It was the LA 20-minute rule again. You could get anywhere in this town in 20 minutes.
I mean, H and I did a unplanned drive. This one's nuts, but it's another true story. This is when she had the 560 SL before we traded it into the Rolls Royce. And we're in Santa Monica on PCH, north of the tunnel, on a Friday afternoon. We just, you know, we were driving everywhere because you got to get around in no time. And without really trying or speeding, just going spiritedly with the flow, we made it to the Staples Center in downtown in under 11 minutes. PCH 10 freeway Santa Monica to downtown Staples Center.
That's
in
incredible.
under 11 minutes.
We used to live in Venice, and it would take us 3 hours to get to a liquor game.
Like a Friday afternoon could take 3 hours.
Like you try Pico, you try everything you possibly can. Nothing
It becomes this frustrating wild goose chase of get off the 10, go Olympic, no, go Venice, no, go whatever.
Well, and that wasn't a hauling ass type of situation, or
Well,
although
a
it could have been a little
560
bit.
SL is not so much a hauling ass type
So
of
it was
car.
just open.
Just open, no traffic.
God damn, because
It's
only
18
10
miles to do
18
the
miles.
math, you know. It was
That
fun.
makes me depressed, though. That makes me depressed about all of the rest of the time.
Yeah. It's kind of like, you know, on the rare holiday, you know, Christmas Day, New Year's Day, when you can get around anywhere in 20 minutes. And you go, if it was like, and it must have been like that in the 80s before it became super congested, I think.
I look at pictures of the old days when
Looks
people used to
super
live
empty.
here. Yeah, but I mean the smog was atrocious.
Yeah.
But the cars were moving.
That's right. The cars were moving through the smog.
Will you ever live anywhere else?
I don't know. We talk about moving to Paris, right?
Really?
Why not?
Bonjour.
Try it once. Keep the warehouse downtown. You know, it's got a France. Vive la
Yeah.
France. Bonjour. Yeah. Merci.
Whoa, that would be really interesting.
I don't know. I mean, you know, pre-COVID, I spent a lot of time in New York, which was great for everything but car culture.
Right.
So for me, it was super inspiring, but everything that I had that was sort of car-related, even though I had a car in New York, I bought a 968 off of eBay in Jersey, parked it on the street in the East Village. That was my New York car. But,
That's kind of awesome. Do you still have it?
Yeah, I still have it. It's the black one. I drove it up the crest and remember it overheated when I got to the top of the crest and it scooped out all the liquid like 2-3 months ago. But yeah, I love that car. It's super well set up. It's got all new KW coilover suspension. It looks like a beat up black club sport, and it handles really, really well. But would I live somewhere else? Yeah, I think I would. I don't know if I'd leave LA, but bi-coastal or a place in a different city. Why not, right?
Have you ever lived anywhere else but LA?
In America?
In the United States?
Never.
That's interesting.
I haven't lived
You spent time in New York. I mean, that's sort of the same thing.
Yeah, time in New York, but I came, bummed around, couch surfed, the sex, drugs, rock and roll, late 80s, Hollywood, then Venice, like very late 80s, early 90s. And
did you live in Venice too?
Yeah, I lived in Venice, had the booth on the boardwalk in Venice. And
where did you live in Venice?
I lived
there for 20 years.
300 San Juan on the corner of San Juan and Riviera, right by Westminster School, half a block from Abbot Kinney.
Yeah.
And it was a super cool creative building. The bass player from Jane's Addiction lived there. And
we were up like 2 blocks.
Oh,
we
really?
were across the Oakwood Park.
Okay.
We were at 7th and Broadway for 7 or 8 years.
This was
together.
a real creative building. It's that 4-story brick building on the corner. Rosanna Arquette's dad lived in the building. I once saw her when she was dating Peter Gabriel, and you don't see like Jane's Addiction coming in and out. And this was literally like 88, 89, 90. And then it was from there basically to downtown.
Wow.
And that's it. I've been downtown since 94, and I'm still downtown. Bosch. Oh, yeah. Are you watching Bosch?
No.
Are you familiar with the show Bosch?
I've heard of it. I think that might be the one where the guy was on that show. We couldn't. That guy's on a show. We couldn't think of what it is. Bosch.
I think that's
it's a detective show or something.
Yeah, LA-based cop Bosch, and he's just the story I'm going to tell you won't make any sense if you haven't seen the show.
Okay.
So you really got to binge watch it. Like if you got a lot of time on your hands, which maybe you do.
What's it on Netflix?
Netflix.
One of those.
Amazon?
It's on something streaming. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll find it.
Anyway, I'll make my Bosch story really, really short. So,
Okay.
I like to binge watch shit. So, I can binge watch a season in like 2 days type of thing.
I'm the
Do,
same.
like,
If I'm
3,
into it,
4,
I'm into
5
it.
Yeah, do 4 episodes a night. It's great. So, I love doing my little walkabout downtown, posting on the gram, the stories and all that stuff. So I start posting scenes from Bosch because I know where they are.
Oh, locations from the show.
Locations where they're
Sure.
shooting, back end of City Hall, but it won't be like the obvious one. It'll be, the
Gotcha.
little back end corner of it. So I'm posting on the
So
story.
he really likes the show because he's recognizing all this stuff. Yeah, okay.
Well, they'll go to places like El Compadre. We were at El Compadre today. They'll
I
go to
recognize
Musso and Frank. So
the
it's-
tile on the...
Yeah, it's kind of like swingers in the sense that if you live here, you know where these places are.
Yeah.
And it's like living on... To me, it's still 35 years later, I get excited because it's like you're living in a movie set, really.
I totally agree.
But yet it's real because El Compadre is not a movie set. So anyway, I post on the gram, been binge watching a lot of Bosch recently, and I get like a DM from Mark Douglas, yeah. He goes, we're here at Bosch are big fans of Magnus Walker, and we start this conversation about,
We here at Bosch.
that's what they say, we're here at Bosch, and the writer's a Porsche guy. Anyway, I go, you're not going to believe this, but the character Bosch lives in this house, which is really featured in the show. And the house is on stilts up at the top of the Hollywood, Sunset Plaza Drive, top of the hills. Looks like the case study house, and it's always in the show. And believe it or not, I lived in this house for 2 years, from like 2004 to 2006. So I managed to find photos of the house when I was there like 15, 16, 18 years ago.
So it's the character on the show's house.
character on the
but
show.
you really
Yeah,
stayed
the character
there.
on the show lives in this house, which is a case study house on the top of the Sunset Plaza Drive, which I lived in 2004, like, a
Unbelievable.
dozen years before the show even came out.
Totally.
So when I show them photos of the house, they couldn't believe that I lived in the house. And it was one of those times
Small
where-
world.
Small world. I actually temporarily relocated out of downtown LA, started doing so much filming. I tell the story, it's a long story, but we shot this film called The Whole 10 Yards with Bruce Perry,
No, I know it. Bruce Willis and Amanda Peet.
Matthew Perry. So we were in the house for a month and relocated us to a house in the hills. And finally the light bulb went off and it was like, I bet if we didn't live in the loft, we could film all the time. So we moved out of the loft for 3 months, became 6 months, became a year, became 2 years in this house, which is now featured in the TV show Bosch. So there's my LA story.
But Sunset Plaza to me is West Hollywood, right?
West Hollywood. Yeah.
Okay,
But you
so-
go all the way to the top, like to the
Beautiful.
bird streets. And then there's a little dirt road, probably washed away now due to the rain, which drops down into Laurel Canyon and comes out by the general store off of Cook.
Off a Lookout.
Yeah, look at it.
No kidding.
So anyway, that's
Wow.
where it is.
There's
If
so
you're a
much cool
Bosch
shit
fan,
up
that's
there.
where it is. I'm not giving you the address, but it's up there in them there hills.
We
And it had this spectacular 200-degree skyliner view of LA. You could see the ocean, you could see downtown, you could see everything. A lot of times you'd be above the clouds because you were quite high up there.
That's so cool. Well, it was just a rental for you, right?
Just a
Because
rental,
you were,
yeah.
It's
We
supposed,
tried
to, be,
to
supposed
buy
to be temporary.
Tried to buy the house. Guy didn't want to sell. New York-based producer, wasn't in LA on the house, blah, blah, blah. So I ended up buying another loft downtown. Then literally like 3 months after we closed on this loft downtown, the guy goes, okay, I'm ready to sell it now. But obviously it wasn't meant to be, but, you know, sometimes I still think about the house. And then it turns up in this TV show, Bosch.
Hilarious.
So that's my story with the Bosch house.
I don't
But
know if
it
you-
wasn't the Bosch house.
There's a show called Life in Pieces. I don't know if you ever saw it. It had a huge cast. Everybody was in it. But same thing. It was our friend Gertrude's house. It was a mid-century modern down in Mar Vista, a little
got
street
it.
where they shoot all the time. And Colin Hanks and all these people are, just shooting in his front yard all the time, chopping down his tree for one segment, stealing
This
the
is
car
what's
in
great
another.
about LA. I mean, talking to mid-century modern, you had Mr. DJ on recently, right?
Yeah.
Damon Jones. I
Oh,
like
how
to call
interesting
him.
is he? Yeah. You guys go back.
A couple of years, yeah.
Yeah. You did the Brit Week together. That was
We
6
did
months
do the
ago.
Brit Week. Brit Week, let me tell you, Brit Week was November 14th. 'Cause it was 2 days
No
before
way. It
Hannah's
feels like a
birthday.
million years ago.
Brit Week
It was 2 months ago?
Sunday, November, not even 2 months, 6
Oh
weeks
my
ago. Do the
God.
math.
Oh, I'm
was
still wearing this friggin' hat.
You want to swap hats? Go on, swap that. Get a little hot in here. 18 layers on.
I had to feel it to see it. It's hilarious.
Brit Week was Sunday, November 14th.
Wow.
By my math,
Month and a
that is
half
what,
ago.
7 weeks ago?
Oh my God. I don't know anything.
Yeah.
I told you they're all blending together.
6
It's one
weeks
day
ago.
at a time.
I mean, this year's just kind of flown by, right?
Well, I thought that the COVID year when everybody was in the house, but like we're out, we're doing stuff. Somehow I'm still got that brain fog. We're like,
Yeah, no one stayed in.
yeah, I don't feel like, I don't know. I'm definitely not back to normal or like do it. I'm not. Can you tell?
We're right there with you.
I realize also I can no longer hear that. You can hear much better through your hat. This one covers my ears.
Oh, I got it. Yeah. Sushi, though. Looks good. Looks good there.
All right, what haven't we mentioned? We covered a tremendous
You
amount of
covered
ground today.
everything.
Oh, Instagram dumped off. All right, fair
Yeah.
enough.
I guess we've gone over an hour.
We have covered the things that you've got coming up, right? The new show, the book's coming out in
New
2022.
show, book sometime 2022. If you want to get a great print, don't call it a poster. It's a print, archival print on museum grade quality paper.
Archival paper, yeah, I saw
Archival
that.
paper makes it special. Type, museum quality.
And
FelixHolst.com.
there you go. And that's a numbered set. Get
There's
this while you can.
277 of them. But when they're done, there's still the original painting.
And you're going to make an NFT out of that, right?
This is not an NFT.
Are you going to get into that at all?
People, they've been telling me for 6 months, dude, let's do some NFTs.
People are asking me too, and I go, I still don't know what it is.
Get it. I got a Hot Wheels, I got a this, I got a that. What's an NFT? You know what
You
it
take
is?
a picture of all that, digitize it, and now it's a thing.
Yeah, it's weird. I was in the Need for Speed game 2015. I was in this thing called CSR racing. I almost feel in that digital world, I'm already there. But I think the hook with NFTs is everyone goes, yeah, but so-and-so just sold one for $80 million. But
That doesn't
that's
mean
just
anything to
that
me. That's
one
not a
guy.
real number. Yeah,
right.
it's not
There's
a-
a lot of people that can't sell an NFT for $5.
Right.
So, but everyone's like, no, everyone's making billions of dollars of
That's right, everyone is.
cryptocurrency
Everyone's
or
doing that.
Bitcoin or whatever it is, right?
You're missing the mark.
Yeah, just go buy some gold bullion or something. Get some gold teeth.
If you watch the internet, we're all just collecting gold for the Anunnaki. So
Yeah,
what are you
there
going to
you
do?
go. There
You
you
know? Everything is conspiracy theories and...
I'm just reading the subtitles.
For what?
Life.
Magnus Walker, Between the Lines.
Reading subtitles.
How do people follow you?
I guess on the
Instagram.
Gram, that's kind of it. I've got a website. I never put stuff on it, though.
You got the YouTube channel as well, at
Got a
Magnus
YouTube
Walker.
channel, yeah. Magnus Walker. Haggerty Show, The Big Thing with Magnus Walker.
Starting January 16th?
17th.
17th.
17th, bi-weekly. The Big Thing.
The Big
Thing, that's what we're
And it
calling it.
starts with the Mercedes, right?
Starts with a W194 Mercedes, yeah. And I think I'm going to roll into the F40 night shoot and then sort of flip-flop around. And the good thing is all shot here in LA. It's almost like I don't quite know why I traveled for the other show. We did like 4 episodes in New York, which were fun, but yet anything you ever want to shoot that's car related is within 50 miles of where we sat right here.
That Volvo, you had to go to the Volvo though.
The Volvo.
That was special. That was special.
The 3 million mile Volvo with Nino Gambino, who was Irv Gordon's mechanic and friend for over 30 years. That was special. I mean, to me, that was my favorite out of all of them. It was emotional having met Irv before he passed away back in 2014. Actually getting to drive the car.
How did it drive? Because I've driven those cars before. How did this one drive?
Well, it was in the rain. It was summer in New Jersey. It moved around a lot. It was, it was a special car. It was super enjoyable. It was easy to drive.
Well, that's good.
It handled okay. But it was more about just that moment. It was a very memorable moment. And Nino, the mechanic, still texts me. He's just super down-to-earth guy. And that car's owned by Volvo. They own the car now. So that's a special car with 3 million miles on it and one guy that owned it and all these stories.
That's what I mean. That whole thing was so emotional and special that you had to go for that one.
That was a great
But the
episode.
other ones, I see your point.
I mean, there's a lot of cool cars in L.A., so we'll see how that season goes.
I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to it. And the studio's yours whenever you need it.
All right, we'll be back next week, lay down some tracks.
I know he means it.
Yeah, I'm not messing around.
Follow Magnus Walker, all the places. Follow Hannah Elliott as well, all the places. She's over here auditing, unofficially auditing. Mrs. Ryan, your new life of old Nicole, for now, still, right?
Yes.
And I'm...
What are you?
I don't know. I'm the real Jay Ryan 111
It doesn't feel
right
natural
now.
rolling off your tongue somehow.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
But you know the story, right?
Yeah.
Not only did they hack, but somebody went and took every possible Mr. J Ryan 111 or Good Vibes 111 or any possible incarnation that anybody would reasonably go with and just parked them all. So you know what I mean? It was deliberate. It was definitely deliberate.
Why do you think?
Trying to silence me, Meg. Way too important. My voice is too important.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Trying to keep a good man down. Who knows?
Sorry about that.
It'll all get worked out. Thank you for caring. Thank you for your help getting it resolved, though. I love you, Mrs. Ryan. We all love you at home. We love you, mister.
I feel the love.
We love you, Hannah. We love you at home. Please love one another. And let's see. Tomorrow's
Love the one you're
GVBC.
with.
We're back on Tuesday. Merry Christmas, everybody. That's it. It's the last
That's
show
it.
before Christmas. We'll be back Tuesday and Thursday next week. Just us. And that's it. Love everybody. See you out
Cheers
there.
and rock 'em. Fella?
You're on fire.
I got hot in here. I got 4 layers on. I got the thermal, the t-shirt, the sweater. Yeah.